In this tutorial, we want to look at how to use the rectangle select tool. It's used to select a region, and you can use it to select something, or you can also use it to select a place and color it. So let's say we have this our image here, and then we want to select this cut here. So I can come here and we just look at some of the options. I can select it like this. I can adjust it using this. I can come here and adjust it. I can also adjust it like this, and at the bottom the same way. So now if I like what I've selected, let's say I want to create another layer with something, this thing that I've selected, and look here, we have this here. This is replace the current selection. So in case that if I don't want this and I want to select something like this one, if I press this one, it will replace this selection with this when we are on this option. Now if I should choose this option which says that add to current selection, then this, after this is selected, and if in case I want to add this, I can add this to the selection. Now in case I choose this says that this option says subtract from the current selection. So in case I want to subtract some parts, I can select maybe let's select this part here, and then you see that if I press enter, it subtracted that part from where the other was. So this part is gone. We have this small part here and this part here. Now let's say that if we choose this option, intersects with the current selection. So then what we'll do is that in case I draw something here, so I'm going to have only the intersection. It removes everything, and only the intersection of the previous one and what I drew is what we have. Now I would go on. If in case you don't want to select something, you always go to select and then do none. You can also deselect by going to shift control and pressing A at the same time on your keyboard. Now I go back here, and then we want to go through some of the things here. Now I would just leave it. I will select only the anti-aliasing, and that is to smooth the edges, so it makes the ends a bit smooth. But you see the difference when I add this to it, the feather edges. But let's select this, and then maybe let's right click it and we go to edit, and then we do a copy. You can also do it here, copy, and then we place, let's say we want to what we've copied, we want to put it in a new layer. So we come to paste as, and then we go to new layer. So now we have a new layer. Let's close the down part. You see we have a new layer with this. Now I will close this one, and then I'll open this, and then I go to this one here. Now I want to select, first of all I deselect this so that we can select again. Now I go here and say that I come here and say that I want feather edges. So first, if this is bothering you, will remove it. You can always remove anything by coming here, so that there's nothing going around there. Now we can come to feather edges. Let's try feather edges. Feather edges, it makes the edges not sharp. You will see it when we draw it, but you see this one here is the radius. You can increase the radius. You can start by a small radius and go on and see how smooth it is. It has to do with the edges. Now let's select this again, and then you see, then you have this curves, this curve corners here. If I increase it, it increases. So let's say that I choose something like this, and now I also do a copy. So I go to edit and then copy, and then in the same way I want to put this on a different layer. So I go to edit, I can do it here as well, edit, and then I go to paste as new layer. Now let's close this layer here, and I want to select this maybe and put it here. Now let's see, they're overlapping because they're lying at the same place, but I will move it. I come here, move tool, and then I would just want to move this to this part here. Now you see, now let's try to compare the two. This one here is the one that we use the edges. When we using the tool, this is we use the feather edges. So you see the feather edges makes it not, it's not the thing is not very sharp. It's like it smoothens the edges a bit depending on the radius. And if you look at this one here, you see it's straight because I did not use the feather edges. Now let's go to the next one. We close these two, and then I put this on again, and let's try the rounded corners. That's also, you can increase or decrease the radius, and it just gives you some rounded corners instead of a rectangle. So if we have something like this, now we can repeat the same thing. We put it in, we do a copy, and then we put it in its own layer. So paste as a new layer. Now let's put this off, and then you see this is how if let me deselect it, I go to edit, and then select and none, and then you see this gives us some rounded shape. You can combine this with feathers as well. It's just the figure more or less. And then we have another one that we want to try our hands on. Let's close this and make this visible. We have expand from center. So if you click this one, then as you want from the center, you can expand like this. Before you saw I started drawing from the top, but this one it expands, and then you can start it from the center and it cuts as you want. Now another thing that we can also do is that we can fix the aspect ratio so that there's no distortion whatsoever. So if you want something like this, something like a square or so, the aspect ratio is not distorted in any way. Okay, so this, and then you can also use the width. So the width is fixed. Then if you choose, look here, this is 100. So if this is 100, I can't change it. The width is fixed. In the same lights, you can fix the height and you can fix the size. Then the thing is not distorted in any way. Let's try this one here. I will first of all remove this, and then you see that it's fixed. It's 100. I can't make it any bigger unless I want to change it here. Okay, now these are, you can change the positions and you can change the size, and then this is highlighting it. So look, let me remove this fixed. You see the highlights it highlights what you want to. Let me first of all undo this again. So if I want, it just highlights what you, so that you can see well, makes it more. You can increase the opacity, and this if you need no guide. I actually most of the time don't use that. Now, one other thing you can use the rectangle tool to do is to select a place and color it a color. So maybe in case, let's see, I select this place, or maybe that was not what I intended. Let's select something like this, and then maybe we want to color it or remove the put a color in. You can always go for your bucket tool, and then you can choose whether you want the background color, you want the foreground color, or you want to fill it with a pattern. Let's say we want to fill it with a pattern, and then the pattern that you can choose any pattern at all you want, but let's choose this. Then you can fill it with it like this. Now you can also give it a stroke. That you can do by coming to edit, and then you can do stroke selection, and then you can choose some kind of look. You can choose solid color, or you can choose a pattern as well. Let's choose a solid color. So you see it shows the black with, that is the foreground. If you want to change it, you can just come here and then do some change, and then maybe you can do it again if you want. We go to edit, and then stroke selection, and then now we do stroke, and then you see you get a green background. So this is how you can use the select tool. If you actually know how to use the select tool, it works more or less similar to this tool here. It's much more or less similar to the ellipse tool. It's just that the ellipse, if you select it, you see the entries are the same. It's just that when you select, it's an ellipse. I'll be doing other videos on the other selection tools. Thank you for watching, and please help me by subscribing to my channel. If this helped you in any way, please give me a like. Thank you. Bye.